The era of the electric vehicle has arrived. With instant acceleration, electric cars are more fun to drive and more affordable than ever. Electric cars are here. Plug in to the present. Learn more at plugintothepresent.com. Sponsored by Volkswagen Group of America.
From the Kentucky News Network, I'm Jerry Bloom. 2 Lexington men are remembering their experiences during the mass shooting at the Country Music Festival in Las Vegas. The men had finished interviewing country music stars a year ago yesterday for their Lexington-based video production company when the shooting started. The men stayed in their production trailer until police came to help them. One shooter was found to be responsible for killing 58 people and injuring hundreds of others at the concert in the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Yesterday, a campaign kicked off to ensure survivors in Kentucky have resources they need to build a new life.
The Kentucky Coalition Against Domestic Violence is asking people to help raise money to provide emergency assistance for survivors of domestic abuse. The coalition's Whitney Reynolds says many victims are abused financially.
Their abuser may have control of their finances, or they're not used to ever having control of their own finances. They're not comfortable leaving because they don't know how to sustain themselves financially.
Last year, about $32,000 in emergency assistance was provided to more than 100 survivors in Kentucky. I'm Suzanne Duval.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the Senate will be voting on the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh later this week. Opening the Senate yesterday, McConnell expressed confidence that a follow-up FBI investigation will be completed soon. The FBI is looking into allegations of sexual assault, which Kavanaugh has loudly rejected. McConnell said that Democrats would not be satisfied regardless of what the FBI reveals. McConnell is anxious to get Kavanaugh confirmed as soon as possible. I'm Jerry Bloom.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
Phony Medicare representatives are calling local seniors with a big scam. They're telling seniors they are eligible for a free back or knee brace. The catch? They want your Social Security number to verify. Hang up the phone. Medicare will already have your information. Never give out your Social Security number to someone you don't know. If you get an unsolicited call and they ask for it, that is a big red flag.
Hi, I'm Rihanna Smith-Hamblin with the Better Business Bureau. For more tips, go to bbb.org.
Looking for fast, easy, and secure electronic banking? Community Trust has a wide variety of banking services to meet your needs, including internet banking, bill pay, and mobile banking. We now have even more great services like Apple Pay, make payments directly from your smartphone, and People Pay, a fast, easy, secure way to send and receive money from your smartphone. Visit us on the internet to learn more at ctbi.com. That's ctbi.com.
Community Trust Bank, building communities built on trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Today, just a small chance for a shower early before 1 o'clock, 84 for the high, 67 and cloudy tonight. And really, photocopy this forecast for the next several days. Sunshine and a high of around 87 from Wednesday through Saturday. Again, today, a small chance for a shower early, 84 for the high. We're up to 71 at WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza.
At Kentucky Homes Realty, real estate is their life, and sold is their favorite word. Kelly Mitchell, principal broker and owner, invites you to contact her office if you're looking to buy a home. They've teamed up with Movement Mortgage to provide a way for you to have the home of your dreams. Go to kyhomes247.com and find out exactly how much home you can afford. It takes less than 60 seconds to get the ball rolling.
This is Kelly Mitchell with Kentucky Homes Realty. Contact me and let's make this dream of yours a reality.
The doctor is in at Health First Community Health Center. Dr. Jamie Perry is ready to care for the community, providing primary care services at 1100 South Jefferson Street in Princeton. October is the beginning of flu season. Protect yourself with a flu shot at Health First Community Health Center. Call today to make your appointment at 1-877-667-7017. Same-day appointments available and walk-ins are welcome. At Health First Community Health Center, your health is their first concern.
812 at 1580, 103.3 WPKY, visiting with Richard Nelson. And I have to confess, on my cheat sheet, Richard, it had CPC. And I'm like, CPC. CPC. What is CPC? And then I'm like, Princeton something, but it's Commonwealth Policy Center. So
That's right.
I'm pleading my ignorance here, but you're actually a nonprofit public policy group, correct?
That's correct. Actually, Bill, in your neck of the woods, in Cadiz is where I live, but we're a statewide organization. We started in 2012 with the goal of shoring up what we believe are the pillars of society: the sanctity of human life, marriage between a man and a woman, and religious freedom. We believe that those are important American principles, not just conservative principles, but we are working in the public policy arena and in the political realm, trying to shore up these really foundational principles here.
Well, you're a busy guy because those are hot button issues.
Hot button issues, and I travel the state and I speak to different groups, and one of the things that I find is that if we engage in conversations in a fair-minded, thoughtful way, if we try to foster respectful dialogue and try to understand the other side, we can move a long way. It's hard to talk about a lot of these issues, but if we make that effort to really sit down and listen and try to understand, and I'm not saying you water down your positions or your values, but we're at a crisis in our country where we can't even have a conversation about these things, and that is not helping us at all. I was talking with a family member the other day about the Kavanaugh hearings, which, of course, highly charged issue, strong opinions on both sides. And I said to this family member, I understand it's tough. There are a lot of emotions that are raised up. But let's look at the things that are good about this country. Let's look at the first of all, that we have hearings like this. We have the media that's in attendance at these hearings. That we can talk about these things freely and even criticize our government without fear of reprisal, because in other places in the world, you can't do that. You don't have a media that's free. You don't have conversations taking place in the public arena, even like we are right now. We take this for granted, and there's so much good that we have going for us here that we can't take for granted, that we need to look at what binds us together, I think, as Americans, what makes us a country. And again, it doesn't mean you forget your values, your opinions, but we need to look at something else. And one of our values, I think, as Americans, is that we have these freedoms that allow us to participate in public conversations no matter how hard they are. And we can be civil and we can be respectful and hopefully move that ball down the field where we once again realize that there is a lot that binds us together as a people. Right now we live in an age of division and an age of political turmoil, and something at the Commonwealth Policy Center that we try to do is to, again, foster these good conversations, to encourage respect and encourage civility in that public realm.
Do you think social media has helped or hurt
I think
issue?
Yeah, it's a two-edged sword. I think that, first of all, we can connect with more people very quickly. At the same time, you're losing that personal aspect where you and I are face-to-face, and I'm less likely to say something offensive to you face-to-face, and hopefully I won't anyway because I'm on public airwaves, and I respect that. I respect the listeners. But it's easy to post something on Facebook or on Twitter without realizing that there are other people that are affected because you don't have that personal interaction, and I think it's easy to drop a bomb on social media and then to walk away. And we forget that our words matter and that what we say has an impact on people. And at the same time, we're having conversations on social media that we might not have had before. So it's a double-edged sword. We encourage people to be thoughtful. Be careful with what you say. Yes, engage the different platforms and have conversations, but be careful with what you're saying.
Do you find a lot of things that maybe are shared that somebody, it might be a hot button issue, oh yeah, that's exactly how I feel, that maybe things are shared without being researched that may not be accurate? Is there a problem with accuracy?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of fake news on social media and even on news sites. I was on a panelist of journalists. We were talking about fake news with Al Cross and some other journalists in the area, and one of the things that we find is that social media is attracting more people than the traditional news outlets, and part of that is because there are salacious headlines and there's stuff out there that's just kind of crazy. So as news consumers, we need to be cautious as to what we're taking in. Question what you see out there. Question the headline. Look at the byline. Who's writing this? Who's behind it? Do they have a name on it? And then try to verify the story. Don't just pass it on without looking into the details of and trying to verify if it's true or not. But fake news I think is a concern, and it's something that is a danger to public discourse. And if we don't have the facts right, it's hard to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So check it out and make sure it's true before you pass it on.
With a name like Commonwealth Policy Center, I would assume you're tracking several issues in Kentucky. Lots going on.
We are.
Lots going on politically.
Yeah. In fact, we keep an eye in the state legislature. And Bill, one of those issues that's going on right now is the legalization of medical marijuana. There's a bill that's been, as I understand it, pre-filed in Frankfurt. There have been hearings for the approval of medical marijuana, and that's something that I've commented on and followed closely. And the whole issue of drugs.
Is that separate from the hemp? The hemp issue, or are they tied together, or is that apples and oranges?
Yeah, I think they're related in a way, because hemp used to be something that was just not viewed favorably. Now, hemp is legal in Kentucky. Farmers can grow it. There are agricultural uses. You can make clothes, and there's hemp oil, and there's other things. But I think medical marijuana is a little different category. And the truth is that our drugs that we use are derived from plant products. The painkillers we have are many of them are opioid derivatives. Mm-hmm. If marijuana has medical purposes, if there's some kind of use and benefit to patients, I think that can be a good thing. But at the same time, there's a process by which we legalize drugs, and you go through the FDA, and there are trials, and there are tests, and they look for the downside, that kind of thing. This is getting it through politically. It's not going through that medical process. And my concern is that this could be a backdoor attempt just to legalize marijuana in Kentucky. So the bill that was up for a hearing, or the discussion that was going on a couple weeks ago, would have allowed doctors to determine on a case-by-case basis if they should give a prescription for medical marijuana. If the doctor thinks there's going to be some benefit, go ahead, we're going to give you a prescription for it. My concern is that this could be a backdoor attempt. If somebody's got a lot of pain, or if they've got something else going on, do you want a process and a procedure to legitimize this, or do you want a doctor? Which I think you can probably find doctors out there that say, yeah, smoking a joint a day is going to help you, or it's going to benefit you. Or do you want the FDA stamp of approval? Do you want the process to be followed? And I see this as I see some downside here is what I'm getting to in this legislation, the legislature dealing with it instead of the FDA and the other normal channels.
Have you tracked other states? Are there any states that have legalized medical marijuana? And if they have, is there enough of a track record to see what's happened?
Yeah, several states have legalized medical marijuana, and it appears California is an example, Colorado is an example, and actually both those states have recreational marijuana. So medical was the first step, and then just full-blown recreational. And here's a thought. Let me take a step back here. I think that when you move in a direction of just legalizing more drugs in the middle of a drug epidemic, I think that's problematic. I mean, we have a crisis here in Kentucky where opioids are taking, it's about 4 people die every day from a drug overdose. And to say we need more drugs, it doesn't make sense to me, and that is cause for concern. So other states have done it. They've legalized medical and recreational, and I just don't think that's the path that Kentucky ought to follow.
Okay. Any other issues?
Yeah. Hey, there's an election coming up on Tuesday,
That's
November the 6th.
That's a stupid question heading into an election.
Yeah, no, there's a big election coming up, midterm elections. So every state House member is on the ballot. Half of the state Senate is on the ballot. Every congressional seat is up for election. Local offices, too. And I encourage the listeners to be mindful of the election date. It's Tuesday, November the 6th. Look into the candidates. Find out where they stand on the issues. Don't merely vote party lines,
Let me ask you a quick question. I know we're about out of time, but I can't put my finger on it. I've asked several people who are a lot smarter than me. What do you attribute, in this country as a whole, not just Kentucky, the low voter turnout. When there's so many important issues, and it's so important that vote you cast, especially at the local level, I just don't understand the apathy.
Yeah, I don't either. Bill, back in the primaries, about 23%, I think, statewide voter turnout. I think there's frustration with politics. They're frustrated with, they don't think that their vote matters. There's a lot of reasons why, but really there's no good reason. We need to realize that this is our government. This is government of the people, by the people, for the people. We need to engage it. And even if there's just one candidate on the ballot, even if there are two candidates, you might not like either one. It's important to go and to vote, to make your best decision. Look, there will not be a perfect candidate. We're all frail people with feet of clay. Anybody on the ballot will have made mistakes and maybe stepped on your toes and offended you. But find that best candidate. Get over whatever problems you have with the politicians or the system. If we are not willing to vote and to make a difference, then we deserve the government that we end up with. So we need to vote. We need to get out and find at least the best candidate that shares our values and that we think would do a good job serving in office. Commonwealth Policy Center has material on its website for all the state House, Senate, and congressional races. You can find endorsements. We do endorse for the state House and state Senate. And there's also voter guides for the House and Senate.
Great.
And check it out, CommonwealthPolicyCenter.org. That's CommonwealthPolicyCenter.org, and it's under the political tab. And you'll find a drop-down box that shows the candidate endorsements and the voter guides as well.
That sounds great. CommonwealthPolicyCenter.org.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
And I now know what CPC is, so I'll know you're an expected guest. I appreciate it very much. And hopefully we can get that over 23% voter turnout November 6th.
I hope so. It should be higher than that for the actual general election. I'm not sure exactly, but somewhere, it'd be great if we could get more than half of the voters out to the polls. But prayerfully consider who you should vote for. Make sure you get out and vote. This is our country, and there's too much at stake for us to sit at home and to not vote. So Tuesday, November the 6th is the election. Again, check out the Commonwealth Policy Center website. You can find out more about us there, and then also the voter guides and candidate endorsements as well.
Richard Nelson, I appreciate your time today. I know you're a busy guy, and I appreciate you sharing the information. I think this is important conversations to be heard.
Yeah, very good. Hey, I've enjoyed it, Bill. It's great to be here, and I look forward to coming back next month.
Studio's a little under construction. We'll look a little better next time.
Hey, that's okay. It's work as long as the listeners can hear us, and you've got the controls right over there, so I think we're good.
All right. Thanks, Richard. We'll see you.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.